Hi all, good morning. Welcome for today's webinar, which is Bring Zoho CRM Data to Claude AI. For those people who have joined from US, good morning, very good morning. And for the people who have joined from all over the world, welcome. And thanks for taking time on Tuesday and attending this session. So we would immediately jump into the session and talk more about it. Okay. Currently, I'm showing the screen. Yeah. So again, thanks. And so this is about AI-powered sales automation. Okay. This is the Zoho CRM MCP server and the Claude connection. It need not be Claude always. It can be any LLM. And before that, a little bit of an infrastructure check or a housekeeping. So, am I audible and is my slide deck showing up? I just wanted to hear from our people so that is the slide deck showing up, and am I audible? Yeah, perfect. Thanks for the confirmation, team. So let me jump into the session. I'm Sam. I'm the CEO and Chief Solution Architect here at OfficeHub Tech. And OfficeHub Tech is a Zoho consulting partner. We are with Zoho for better half of this decade, and we are partners with Zoho for more than 7 years now. And we focus on high-end enterprise consulting and implementation, deep technology implementations. That's what we do here. We are based out of Florida, USA, as well as we have facilities in India. So that's a very short introduction. And along with me in this session, we would have another participant who is Manika Raj, who is the lead developer for this initiative to build this MCP server. Okay. So with that said, let me directly jump into the session. So this has been there for a while, right? Like it's almost 2 years now. LLMs was introduced, and the ChatGPT's demo made a very big, sensation in the news and everywhere. And we were all wondering, like, if the brain of this LLM, which happened like 2 years ago, and after that, like we saw a lot of updates on this AI space, and the brain of the LLM, right? Like we were really astonished looking at its decision capability, its decisioning capability, its reasoning capabilities, and things like that. Again, for those who are not aware of what is LLM, the large language models like the ChatGPT or the Claude or the Grok or Perplexities of the world, right? So we were wondering, like, what would happen if this brain, the LLM, is connected with our business data, right? So here, the example what we have taken is the Zoho CRM, where all your business data resides, right? All your sales data and the sales department's data, and of course, all of the other departments' data resides, right? So you have this Zoho CRM, which has the business data, and you have the brain, the latest of the AI brain. You have the ChatGPT 5, which is very powerful, and you have the Claude, and you have the Grok 5, and things like that. What would happen if these two combine? Your business data with the AI brain, LLM, right? So that's what we are going to see here, and what we are going to see in addition is, like, how to get these two things connected. Okay. And of course, like, we are not a salesperson here. We are more often technical guys. So, please forgive on this presentation and things, because we are more into technology, we will be talking much about those aspects. Okay. Of course, we will make it as simple as possible so that anyone could understand. Okay. So here you have this LLM AI model and then the Zoho CRM. We wanted to connect these two, right? These two needs to be connected. Only then it makes sense for our business. So there has to be a bridge, right? There has to be a bridge which connects this AI models, AI LLMs, large language models, and then the tools. Hereafter, I would be referring Zoho CRM or any other applications as tools, right? This AI to this tool, how to connect this one. So that's the bridge, right? That bridge is MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's a protocol with which we can connect any LLMs. That is what the point here. You build an MCP, you have an MCP server for one tool, you can connect it to any LLMs. So this brain and this data are connected, which means that's the power for the salesperson, right? The sales agents or anyone who is working on the business data, right? We call it as an AI-powered sales companion itself. If this is powered, if this is lightened, that brings in enormous power to your salespersons, right? Just not retrieving information, but also organizing the information, also presenting the information in a very strategic way with the reasoning, right? So that's why we call it as a companion itself, AI-powered sales companion, what we have built. Okay. Let's see a little bit about MCP server. What is MCP server and things like that. Of course, for the people who are already aware of what is MCP server, this would be kind of redundant. But for the benefit of people who are not aware of what is MCP server, I just wanted to let this know, right? MCP server, you can synonymous it to an USB, C-type USB, right? Which means it's a standardizing of the protocol to connect with the LLMs, the AIs, right? A way to connect with these LLMs, the AIs. You build or you have one MCP server for a tool. When I say tool, it could be a Slack, or it could be Gmail server, Zoho mail server, Zoho CRM, or any of the Zoho products, or Google Calendar, or Zoho, anything, right? I'm going to refer these as tools. So for one tool, if an MCP server is built, then that gives the power, that gives the context or the standardization standardized capability to connect with any LLMs, AIs. You can connect it with Claude, you can connect it with ChatGPT, you can connect it with Grok, you connect it with Perplexity, anything, right? So this MCP servers would act as a connector, a standard connector to connect with any LLMs. So you build an MCP server, you have an MCP server for one tool, then you would have the freedom to connect with any LLMs. Today, they say like, hey, ChatGPT 5 is the most powerful, that's the best suitable for your business, and you work on it. Tomorrow there comes another LLM, you're not stuck. Your architecture, your setup would remain the same on your side. You would just unplug this USB port or this MCP server and directly connect it with the LLM, other LLM, the next one, right? So that's the power. That's the usability or the power or the advantage of having an MCP server. Okay, so your architecture, your things remain the same. You're just going to plug it to any LLMs. Okay, so you can plug this with just not these LLMs. You would be able to plug it with your other local data sources also. You can plug it like that, okay, to this things. So coming back, a little bit of a history about MCP server. MCP server was originally, the framework was introduced by Anthropic. Probably you would have been aware of Anthropic, most of you, the parent company of Claude. And they presented it to the AI community, AI consortium, which has all these top AI players as members. And everybody agreed that, yes, we have to have a standardized way, a protocol to connect it with, our LLMs. So MCP was born, Model Context Protocol was born. Everybody agreed to it. Okay. And this is all happened in sometime November, end of last year. And this MCP concept got more standardized in the market sometime by April this year or May this year, early May this year. Okay. And we at OfficeHub Tech rolled out this MCP server for Zoho CRM by May month itself. And then we stabilized it, and now it's in enterprise grade, right? So we took it as a challenge. We said, like, okay, let's build an MCP server for Zoho CRM. And Zoho is yet to release the MCP server for public use. So we wanted to, we thought, like, we should be doing first, and we did it. So we didn't hold the proprietary. We said, like, we wanted to give it to the community. So we made the code as an open source code, which is available in the, GitHub. You can take that code, you can do customization or anything which is required for your custom modules or whatever, and you can run this in your, setup. You're more than welcome to do it, right? So that's the thing. And again, like, this acts as a bridge between the AI agents and the tools. And, the non-technical users, this gives a way for the non-technical users also to quickly connect these servers and, take it from there. So as I was saying, that we have, made that as an open source and given it to the public for public use and things. So this is
It's for you to have conversations, connect and network.
This is an recognition or an appreciation by
Learning. It's for you to have
Zoho
conversations,
itself,
connect and network.
right? Zoho's community, Zoho community in their Bangalore Zoholics, India Zoholics, they presented this and they appreciated us presenting, making this code as an open source, right? So this is just a quick glimpse of the video. It won't take much time.
Besides the regular webinars and the other sessions that keep happening from Zoho from time to time, we also do focused groups. There is a series going on enabling you to adopt AI-driven features inside Zoho applications. So make sure to bookmark all this and use all these resources to optimize your learning.
Yeah, excuse me for the quality of the video and all the shaking, because it's all done through the mobile. We recorded it. So this is the thing. We share the knowledge, and we have this. All this information is available in the Zoho community. If you go to Zoho, just Google it, like MCP Server, OfficeHub Tech, or MCP Server Zoho CRM, you would get this link which would take to the Zoho community, and it has all the information about the code which you can use it, right? So that is the thing. So when we started this, what was the vision of our project? Was we have to provide a smart virtual assistant for anyone who is using Zoho CRM, and that should be the starting point. Later, they can keep connecting all their tools with that, right? So this is going to be the future user interface, right? Like your LLM screen, your ChatGPT is going to be the future interface, and all the other tools will be connected behind, right? I will show you the architecture, like how you think, like, and that's what most of the leaders in this space or thought leaders in this space are telling, right? So we wanted to make a smart virtual assistant where you can interact with your tools in a very natural language, and that provides very thoughtful, insightful information to you for your, powering your business, as well as you will be able to provide comments for it to act on it. Like, you wanted to add a particular record, you wanted to update a particular record with this sense, you can just be very, in a natural language, you can just dictate and ask it to make those changes, and it is going to make those changes. It is going to manage. It is going to help you. It is going to act as a companion, intelligent companion, right? So that was the objective with which we started this project, and we were able to achieve this one for the Zoho CRM. Okay, we'll show the demo. You would be able to see all those things in action. We'll show the demo followed by this as we set the context and give this information, right? So of course, as I explained, by now you would have understood, what is the business benefit of this one, right? It enables conversational access to the CRM, right? It increases the adoption across the departments. It is just not, CRM is not set of records linked here and there, and provide a kind of a screen which would take you to navigate and see information. No, you need not, the day need not be like that for you, right? You can ask questions. What do you want to focus on? And there are pre-built prompts also available. So you ask questions, and that is going to sweep the data and provide you with information where you want to focus on, right? It saves a lot of time. We tried it in our in-house. We see that there is a huge time saving, and we try to measure it also. We see that our sales teams are able to save 60 to 70% of their work navigating to the system, attaching the document here, seeing what's happening, filtering. No more those kind of navigations and things, right? So that's the thing. And what do you need, right? What do you need to run this MCP server? Of course, we have given the code for free. You can download it. Instructions are provided how you can use it and things like that, which you can connect it with your system. But what is the prerequisite? You have to have a Zoho CRM account, definitely, and it should be a professional version, or any above versions, editions about that. And then you have to get the client ID and the secret auth. Of course, there are ample materials to show you, how to get that one. And then you generate an API access token authentication. And you also should have a downloaded version of Claude desktop for this particular thing. Okay. For this particular example, what we are taking is Claude, but it is not necessary that it should be Claude. You can have any LLM. Okay, and you would be able to connect it. What is the technology stack with which we build this MCP server? Right, we build this MCP server with Python as a programming language, and then we have this fast Python package and Node.js as a backend server, and we have the VS Code editor, and of course the Claude AI Pro plan for this particular thing. Okay, it all depends upon the LLM and whichever plan gives the capability to connect with the MCP server. By that plan, you can connect it, right? And of course the Zoho CRM REST API, right? So here I'm saying, in the MCP server setup and run, right? For people who are the audience who are here, who are business people, this may be a little bit overwhelming, but there are step-by-step instructions. If you have your assistant or a technical person, you would be able to do it by yourself, but you can also take help from people to get this one done, right? That's kind of a one-time setup which you need to do, right? So this gives an step-by-step instructions. Of course, we will be sharing this slide deck for the people who have registered this for this event, so you can refer to this one also, right? So there's an open VS Code, navigate to your project folder, and then open integrated terminal in VS Code, install the package. Then you have to initialize the project folder. Then you have to add the MCP package, then create a Python file, little bit of steps, which is we have, provided in the documentation of the MCP server itself. Okay. But these are the steps which needs to be done. and the MCP server should be set up and run, right? Now coming to the, more icing part of the session, right? There are a few things which you can ask. This is very, very sample prompts what we have put. You can be very creative. You can ask any question what you would be asking to, what you think you should be asking to Zoho CRM. You would be able to ask. If Zoho CRM talks to you, what questions you would ask, right? You would be able to ask. If there are appropriate APIs to get this information and process it and present it, LLM would do it, or else it would upfront tell you that, hey, this action I cannot perform, right? Pretty much 80-90% of whatever we tried with all those questions, what we would ask in our regular day-to-day sales process, we were able to get the information. Okay. So the questions can be as simple as how many deals are currently in Zoho CRM. Yep, it will give you. You can ask who has the top the top number of leads or deals in your team, right? It will give you it will do the analysis and present and tell this person has so many things like that. So that to start with, very, very basic one, right? Then you can ask questions like, which deal I should prioritize today, right? Usually people spend so much time just looking at the screens and figuring out what should I prioritize today. Now, this one is so powerful that it would sweep your open deals, bring it into Zoho CRM, the LLM, do the analysis. Even before that, there is an JSON step where data is prepped in MCP server. Okay, because we are very conscious and we are very thoughtful on how to utilize the tokens very efficiently, right? So those steps happen, but directly to the point, so it brings this data, it learns this information and provides you with a detailed presentation of which deals you should focus today and what is the reason behind it, right? It gives you information what is the reason behind you focusing on these deals. It will give all those information. Okay. and it also provides, this MCP server also provides the capability wherein you can give instructions, you can train the model to tell hey, for my business, these are the points which is the prioritized points, or these are the KPIs, right? So plan things accordingly and present me the prioritized deals. So it would present it accordingly. Okay, so that is also there. And it acts as an agent, you ask, write a follow-up email for the Meditrack deal. This is just an example. We say Meditrack, right? You look at this deal and give me a follow-up email so I can send it, right? So it will look at this deal and give you. You can also ask which are those deals which needs a follow-up email. It will do the analysis and present it to you, right? And if you are a manager, you say hey, I want a sales report for generate a sales review. You are a sales rep. Your manager asks for a sales report for last week. You can just come and ask and it will create it for you. Then you can ask, you are a sales manager going for a sales review meeting, ask to create those sales review report and list the questions I should ask each of the sales representative, right? It will do that, right? Which deals are expected to close next week? This is a very simple thing. Again, it will tell. So you could see the kind of sample prompts what we are providing, right? There are sample prompts which is very straightforward, just numbers, which you can also get it on Zoho CRM by navigating to multiple screens, which you can ask and it will provide. And there are questions or prompts which needs a human kind of an thought process, an analysis and reasoning behind it, right? Would wanted the LLM to act as a companion, sales companion, right? So those kind of questions and prompts are also processed. Okay. And it has a local memory, temporary memory, which would hold this information so that you can start building conversations on top of it. That is also there. It has the continuity, it have the context, and you can build conversation. You can drill down, ask more and more questions to bring in more, strong information. Again, on these things, the data which is provided, there is no hallucination and things like it. It provides the information, exact information what is provided by the business tool. On top of it, it provides its own reasoning, right? But the data points what it has been providing is exact. There is no hallucination and things like that. Okay. So this is a code snap, for people just to show, Okay. So before we get into this demo of those questions and all what I showed, where I have to hand it over my screen to another person, my teammate, I would just tell a couple of things, right? So you would be able to connect this MCP server. I just put the screen just to show that how easy it is for you to put this, connect this MCP server. You just paste certain information which is being provided by the server. That's it, to any of the LLMs, and you are connected. You wanted to today you are with Claude, tomorrow you wanted to go to ChatGPT. It's a matter of few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, to just switch the LLM. Okay. Now, what happens if the LLM goes rogue and keeps deleting my data and things like that? You might have questions and you might have reservations, right? You have complete power to manage the tools here. For any LLM provides the same, more or less the same UI. Here it is Claude, which is you have this switch kind of a thing, wherein you would be able to switch off and on. You say in a delete record, you want it to off. Yes, it cannot delete record. It will not be able to do that one. So what I wanted to tell here is, you need not go into MCP server and make those changes for you to control the system. Rather, you would be able to manage it upfront itself, on the switches here. Okay. So if you're not comfortable in deleting the record through this LLM, yes, tell that. If you are not comfortable in bulk creating records, yeah, tell that, right? You can switch on and off, how you wanted it to do. These are the actions it is going to do. You can, just manage it like that. So these are a couple of steps, how this MCP server flow works, so that this gives you more information about, okay, this is how it exactly works, right? So we have taken a very simple question here. The user asks, how many data in my Zoho CRM leads, right? Like data records or data. You can be, it's natural language. You can say records or data, whatever, it will understand, it will tell, right? So Claude, what it would do is, its role is to understand that natural language input. It breaks down what the user wants, right? Then it decides the appropriate actions or tools to perform, right? And then it breaks the identifies the right function to trigger and things like that, right? So this is the MCP, the Claude or the LLM would decide which tool or action to be performed based on reading this natural language question or the prompt what you ask, and then it would pass that information to the MCP server, right? You can have multiple MCP servers. You can have MCP server for every tool connected together, right? It sends that information, and this MCP server receives that instruction, and it would have a set of predefined tools, right, or functions to interact with the tools. So it would trigger those functions and get that information, present it, optimize it so that very less tokens are used, and then that provides this information to the AI model, the LLM. LLM will apply its decisioning and reasoning capabilities on top of it, and then it provides you the output, right? So through this API, we would be able to collect this information, and then once this information is provided, it gives back to the MCP server, and MCP server gives it in a raw JSON format. right? So it stores it as a raw JSON format, it converts it to a raw JSON format, but with an appropriate information, and replace it with a readable content, and then provided it to the LLM, right? An LLM receives the results, generates a human-friendly message, and it responds to the question, does the analysis, and presents it, right? It would say, I found 12 contacts from Chennai, here are the top 3, things like that. So it acts as a translator. MCP server would act as a translator. It would act as an executor between the LLM and the tool, which is the Zoho CRM and Claude here. Claude understands the language, MCP handles the action, and Zoho CRM holds the data, right? That's what happens here. Okay. So before we talk about the token limits and other information, all the limitations and things like that, let me hand it over to our lead developer to show the demo of this MCP server in action, right? Like through the virtual assistant. Let's see things in action. Yeah. Manikaraj, can you take it over, please? Can you share the screen? So here Madhgaraj has put, the questions he wanted to ask, like the sample questions, what I put here, like, the same questions. How many deals are currently in my Zoho CRM? So as I was explaining those steps, right, if you could relate those steps, what you would understand, like, what is happening behind the scene, right? Within like 4 or 5 seconds, you saw like the information is passed, it collected the information, it summarized and said, you have currently, this is a demo setup, okay? You are currently having 46 deals in your CRM, right? And within that, it gives other information. Looking at the data, I can see have deals in various stages, what is the percentage of the things, the pipeline information also it provides, right? So what I was saying, like it gives you the exact business data points with no hallucination. And then it would give you its own commentary on top of it and provides the information, right? And you can see, like, it is asking another question. Would you like to provide more detail about specific deals or analyze stages and things like that? You would be able to do it, right? Let's see, go on to the next, yeah. It's asking, like, which deals I should prioritize today. So you could see that immediately it provided the information, right? Like, what should be your first deal, immediate priority? What should be your secondary priority, right? What action recommendations is provided? Follow up immediately, send an email to this deal, connect with this person. It reads all the information. It reads the comment notes in the deal. It reads all the deal information, right? Based on that, it provides this analysis, right? On top of this, if you wanted to train your model very specific for your business, you wanted to apply you want to tell the key, hey, these are my KPIs, so prioritize my deals based on those KPIs and things, then those models could be trained, and those trained information, you could have it in the MCP server itself, right? You can have it in the MCP server itself, and which could be utilized. Whenever you ask those kind of questions, then the system would exactly go and ask those questions and be within the boundary and of the setup. Yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead with next sample things. So like, let's see here. I'm thinking like, since that this brain is there and the data is there, let me ask a question. Hey, I wanted to write a follow-up email for this Meditrack deal, right? Let it do it. Now it is reading, it is taking, getting information, it is triggering the appropriate functions, right? So see here, I said like, I wanted to do a Meditrack deal thing. It goes there and checks and comes back and say that I don't find the email ID in the Meditrack deal, but I go and check the contact, and that contact has an email address, right? Okay, let me send an email, and then it writes the email. Now you could understand the context, right? The relationship of the information. I asked the question to go and check the deal, and I said like, we wanted to write a follow-up email. It came back and said the deal is not having the email ID, but I went to the contact and took the email ID information. Now let's write the follow-up email. It writes the follow-up email and provides the follow-up email here. And you can extend your conversation. You wanted to make it very short. You could say like, hey, this is like a very lengthy one. Make it short, to the point. Like how you do it with any of the LLM. And over the period, it will learn, it will know that, okay, I should not send so much of information. I have to be very specific. If you wanted to train that model, like that kind of a specificity, you can also keep adding those instructions into the MCP server. So it will be well knowing about what to do. Yeah. Okay. So you could see like it talks about the strategy and other things. Since we kept it very open, very standardized, it talks about that. But when we are doing it for your business, you can make it very clear. You can say that, hey, we are an healthcare company, we are an PII and things like that. So it would ensure that when you builds the email, it will not give any PII information and things like that. At the first step, of course, those security and other things are there, which I'll talk later in the session, but just things like that. So he has gone to the next thing, like generate a sales report for last week, right? So immediately you could see that it has created a sales report, right? It has prepared a document itself, a sales report for last week, which gives clarity on every information, what you would need in an sales review meeting when you go to your manager or things. Okay. So it summarizes the information and provides and things like that. So of course, like you all know that LLMs are powerful. They know that they would be able to take the reasoning very well. They would be able to do the decisioning very well and things like that. The crux here is bringing the appropriate data to your LLM model in a more efficient way within the utilization of those token limits, right? And also ensure that no hallucination happens, things are to the point, and it is more relevant and contextual, right? That's where that building that MCP server, the crux of building the MCP server lies. But of course, like for Zoho CRM, we have built it, we have stabilized it, we have optimized it, which you can use it, and on top of it, you can put your own logics. Yeah. Okay. So can you put some other prompts also, Manikaraj, and show the next one, what you had, like, what I had in the slide. I think his screen is hanging. Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Sales team review report.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Manikaraj. So this is a sales team review report. Again, like, you know how LLMs would provide that information of the decisioning and things here, right? It exactly provides a team review report. And yeah, let's see. It provides the whole set of information. Let's see, like, what it provides.
Questions for some.
I see that, there is an hand which has been raised previously. Sorry that, I didn't notice as I was presenting. And there is questions also. We will take that one followed by this. Yeah, please go ahead. So here you could see that, our question, our prompt has two tasks to be completed by LLM, right? We asked, hey, prepare me for this weekly report, provide a weekly report, and also tell what question I should ask to my sales reps, right? So it has worked on that, and it is also providing me with leading questions. So I'm prepared when I go to the sales review meeting with the reps as a manager, right? And I have a leading questions. I am very contextual, right? So of course it is like, more generic kind of a questions, but as we give the KPI of our business, questions would be more focused on that one, right? So it handles what we wanted to demonstrate here is it would handle multiple tasks in the same prompt itself, right? So that's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, Manikaraj, can you go back? Like other sample, I think, like, it is a very simple one, the next one, right? Okay. Okay, that is a very simple one, yeah, which deals are to close, that, yeah, of course, it has an analysis and it provides the information, but, it's a very straightforward one. It all based on the pipelines and information, right? So it tells what is the highest potential and most advanced. If you could correlate this information with the first question, what we asked, what is high priority items? Pretty much these things matched, right? It provided these things and said, like, hey, focus on this one and close it, right? So here also it shows, like, high potential, most advanced, and then this is a long shot, right? It gives more of a companion guiding you, right? So that's the thing. Okay. Thanks, Manikaraj. Thank you. Let me take it from here. So team, like, if you have questions, please don't hesitate. You can type your questions. We are keeping a track of those questions. We will respond. And if any questions are more, which needs more of an explanation or things like that, we would definitely reach out to you, or, you can send us an email, and we would also send you an email and things like that. All right. Yeah. And you know how to reach us, right? So that's the thing. Let me share my screen. Let's talk about the limitations, right? We saw the power of the system. We saw the benefits of the system. We saw how useful it could be for every roles, and how it takes the perspective of different user roles and things like that. Let's talk about the limitations. We should be knowing about the limitations also, right, as a tech people. Let me share the screen. Just excuse me. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. So we saw how it flows, and we saw a beautiful demo of it. Let's talk about the limitations. So there are token limitations in every LLM, right? It is done for a reason. They have it for a reason, that they wanted to democratize the available resources of the GPUs. So everyone has put a limitation on the token as of now. So it's time for us to think, like, how we were working 15 years ago, 20 years ago, building softwares, right? We keep in consideration of the RAM. We keep in consideration of the, at that time, the hard disk, right? Not the SSD, the hard disks, and we would play within those rules, right? The program softwares are written with just 1.4 MB floppy disk. You could carry a software. That's how light they built secured softwares, right? Then, like that, we have to, at this moment of the available infrastructure and the tokens and the limitation and the scarcity of the GPUs, we have to play within these token limits, right? When we build an MCP server, it is just not building and connecting all the APIs and giving it, right? It has to be an optimized way of utilizing the resources and providing the results. So this is the limitation. That's how we have considered these and built that MCP server. So these are the limitations, like, it could be 20,000 tokens. The input is like 13,000 to 15,000 is what you could input, and the results would be around, like, 5,000 to 6,000 words. The tokens is 20,000. If you could equate a token to the words, with tokens include spaces also, right? So if you go with tokens to the words and think about it, it would be around like 13,000 to 15,000 words as input, and output is like 8,000 words, right? 5,000 to 6,000 words, which is 8,000 tokens, right? So things we have to play within these limits. So this is on the Claude's LLM side, right? Which we have taken as an example here. You can use any LLM, and these token limits could be specific for that particular LLM what you choose. It varies for the plan and the LLM what you choose. Now, we have considered about the limitation of the LLM. Let's consider about the limitation of the tool. In this case, it is the Zoho CRM, right? We have to consider that aspect also. The same applies to any other tool. If you are connecting with the Google Calendar or a Google email, or you're connecting with QuickBooks, you are connecting with any other ERP system, you have to consider the API limits, the limitations of that tool also. You have to consider those things. So here, already the Zoho's API limits are like 5,000 calls per day, and the bulk API is like a maximum 100 calls per records per call, and access token expires within every 1 hour. The access token expires. Now we have fixed this one, like fixed in the sense we have alternate solution for this one, that to keep your access token live, right? So that's the thing. But by native, by default, access token in the Zoho side expires every 1 hour, right? So need to refresh that token. We have achieved that one. How to fix that one? And so you can, of course, you all know that you cannot directly call Zoho through Claude or things like that. You need to have a middleware, which is an MCP server. And then some modules require scope-based permissions, right? Like, you don't just plug your entire database and give it, right? There you have to have permissions to be set up, right? So when you take into the consideration of integrating these systems, you also take into the consideration of how you wanted to provide that role-based access control of the CRM, or if you wanted to connect a creator application or anything, like, who should see what, right? So pass that information also, like, who is the setting up this one for the enterprise is little different. Probably, like, with that code directly, you can try it out, but there are certain actions to be done, which we do, like, setting up the role-based access control. So the data is provided only for those people who have to visualize it and things like that, right? So this is not a limitation. This is a highlighting point which we wanted to say, like, you should take care of this one too. Okay. And of course, we have We have a couple of things on the back end thing. I'm just rushing on these slides. Pretty much we showed the live demo itself, so it is not required. So these slides will tell, like, you ask to update a record, it will update. Delete a record, it will delete. Create a new record, it would create. Those actions as an agent, it would do. So, and you can put in logics also, like if this happens, then do this. That will also happen, right? That needs a little bit of a coding from your side to do it, right? These are all the samples of it. And we have the video of it as a demo, which we can provide it. You can take it. We will provide the slide deck and things. Now, before we answer the questions, we wanted to also talk about our roadmap, what we are doing currently. We have already built MCP server for CRM. Now we have built it for books. It is in the final testing stage. Zoho Desk and the Sales IQ, we have done it in the final testing stage. Next week, we would release those things. And then Creator, MCP server for Creator, we are building. Another 2 weeks, we would release that one also. And then we are planning for an unified API management for all the Zoho tools in one server, right? So that is also, development is going on. By end of this month, you would have that one too. And on the security aspect, we are taking security very seriously. On the security aspect, we have built a solution on the anonymization and data protection. One is the role-based security access, that is different. The other one is the protection of the data itself, right? So there are ways it could be protected. There are LLMs models which has been provided to run it in your server. So it is not run in OpenAI and things. They run it, the server, they provide it to run it on your server for enterprise. So that is one possibility. The other thing is like data masking, which our team is working on right now, which is also in the final testing stage, which we will publish in the Zoho's marketplace also for free. You guys can, anyone can take it, which gives the capability to transform the data, right? It masks the PIA data or any other information you wanted to mask. You can dictate. So it doesn't even go to the LLM. It will be masked or transformed with a different data, and that information will go to the LLM. Okay, so the secure data is protected within your Zoho's ecosystem, right? So those things, and then of course, like constantly we are optimizing and scaling the system to handle large data sets with more efficiently and more quickly. And of course, the multi-user, multi-company deployment is also we are working on. So this is our roadmap. This is what we are working on. And this MCP server, what I showed right now, it is available in GitHub, OfficeHub Tech LLC MCP server. It is open to public. It's open source. You can use it, take it and extend it for your needs. And then we have the I have the LinkedIn. Please follow us on the LinkedIn of company page or my page or any of our people's page. You will be constantly getting the updates about us and what we are doing. And we have a newsletter also, active newsletter with a lot of almost like the 270 plus editions we have done. So we constantly talk technology there. So follow us, subscribe to our newsletter also, so you can get more information. Okay, that's the thing. And let me please ask questions as you have, so I can take those questions. So Ankur is raising his hand. Ankur, can you put your questions here? On the Q&A, you can put the questions. Okay. So one question I have from Adi is, does the Claude models, for example, X Sonnet 4.1 have any impact, right? No, I don't think the models have any impact per se. It is the edition what you take, pretty much, not pretty much, all the models would work well with the MCP server on the Claude perspective. And the whole idea of MCP Server is that, right, to standardize and to work with any models and any LLMs. So we haven't come across any issues like that. So it should work, I think. It should work. So Kim has asked, like, I missed this, but can I get the replay of the webinar? Yes, Kim, the webinar is also live in LinkedIn on our company page. As we are talking, it is live there. So definitely, those recordings would be there. You would be able to access that. And anytime you can reach us, ask questions or things, and we would be able to provide that. Yeah. And all those people who have, registered for this webinar, I think they definitely get the recording. Yeah. And the slide deck also, we would try to share the slide deck also. We will put it in the community itself in a day or two. So you can review it, and you wanted to take any information, you can take it. So yes, of course, like, there's another question whether we would implement for companies. Yes, of course, Ankur, that's what we do as a system integrator. We are more than happy to help any business for the implementation. And when we do the implementation, we would make that server more specific for your business with all those security aspects and all other things, right? So definitely we would be more than happy to do it. That's what we do. Yeah. So what is the process and whom to reach out? Yep, you can reach out to let me share my screen. You can reach out through our company contact page itself, and you are more than welcome to reach out to me also directly, sam@officehubtech.com. You're seeing my email ID, sam@officehubtech.com. You can reach out to me, or you can contact us through our website contact page or LinkedIn, and everything is unified omni-channel, so it all reaches us. No issues with that. Yeah. Okay, and so those are the questions I had. Any other additional questions? Please feel free to ask questions now. We have 3 more minutes. Or you are more than welcome to ask any questions to us to email or contact us page, or you can also schedule 30 minutes free assessment session, which we do across all the technologies and things. Like, any point of time, you can come to our website, you can register and then schedule a meeting with us. We would be more than happy to have you one-on-one and discuss the possibilities and opportunities to make your business more successful, right? So that's the thing. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I see that a lot of thanks messages. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah. Any additional questions, team? We have 2 more minutes. Fine. So we have, I think, this session was helpful for you all. We are striving to give more sessions like this, do more webinars like this, and we are striving to, whatever we are building, more generic ones, we are giving it to the public as an open source. So follow our GitHub page. We follow us on our newsletters. We would give information about what code we are giving for free for the open source for people to use it, right? And any technical collaboration, any technical questions, we are always there to take it. Okay. Wish you all good day ahead, and thank you for joining, making a 1 hour specifically for attending this one and being part of this technical discussion. Thanks a lot. Thank you.